Everything is really falling apart for Justin Trudeau and the Liberals. This is incredible. You have a former Prime Minister of Canada, Chrétien, goes on CTV and talks with Vashi and kind of sort of shits on Justin Trudeau. But more importantly, you have another Liberal federal MP who throws in the towel, says that she is not running for the Liberal Party leadership race. But more importantly than that, says she's not running for re-election. She's quitting because of Justin Trudeau and what Justin Trudeau has done. The gift that keeps on giving. The purge of the entire Liberal cabinet has officially begun, and we are in full motion. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video, everybody. Before we get into it, I do encourage y'all to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It does really help grow the channel. And without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting off with the news that Anita Anand will not seek Liberal leadership, nor will she run for re-election. Here you go. Look, even CTV saying breaking news, breaking news. In her Saturday statement, Anand wrote that she would stay on as an MP until the next election, which is going to be in a few months. So we're going to take a look at her actual statement right now. Statements from the dishonorable Anita Anand. Since 2019, I have been deeply honored and humbled to serve as Oakville's Member of Parliament as a Member of Cabinet. In these roles, I have given all I have to keep Canada safe, strong, and free. I entered public life because I wanted to make a meaningful contribution to my community and country, a goal instilled in me by my parents who immigrated to Canada before I was born. Back in 2019, I could never have imagined that such work would mean navigating supply chains to overcome a global pandemic, addressing sexual assault in the Canadian Armed Forces, ensuring military aid reached Ukraine, overseeing the Treasury Board, or reinforcing Canada's transportation systems. While this chapter of my life has been challenging, it has been tremendously fulfilling to deliver results for Canadians by working collaboratively. Today, I am announcing that I will not be entering the race to become the next leader of the Liberal Party of Canada and will not be seeking re-election as a Member of Parliament for Oakville. I will continue to honorably execute my role as public office holder until the next election. Yada, yada, yada. I want to sincerely thank Justin Trudeau for welcoming me on the Liberal team and as a Member of Parliament and for entrusting me, so on and so forth. And you're seeing this more and more, where Liberal MPs are quite literally jumping ship because of the damage that Justin Trudeau has done. What he's done by resigning is the worst case. I don't think anyone really thinks that this was Justin Trudeau's idea. I feel like this was the elites that are behind Justin Trudeau, the puppet masters, so to call. And that's why people say, you know how Justin Trudeau is controlled by the WEF? Mark Carney is the WEF. And we are heading into something that is scarier territory, potentially, than just when we had Justin Trudeau. But hey, that's a story for another day. Now we're going to take a look here at this one-on-one sit-down between Vashi and previous Prime Minister of Canada, Chrétien, and to see what he has to say about the ongoing tariff threats, Justin Trudeau's resignation, and just the current state of political affairs here in Canada. Let's take a look.
When it comes to what's happening south of the border, and in particular, incoming President Donald Trump's threats on a number of different levels. First, of course, around tariffs, but lately, and more specifically this week, even calling on annexing Canada, Canada becoming the 51st.
Is he asleep?
Through economic coercion or economic force. What has been going through your head as you watch him make those comments?
You know, it's not new that the Americans look at Canada. We even had a war in 1812, and we burned the White House. So, you know, I don't take that seriously because I don't think it will happen. It's not in the interest of America not to have a good neighbor like Canada north. And for Mr. Trump, he does not realize that if Canada had been part of the US a few weeks ago, he would have never become president because the Canadians would not have voted for him. And he would have lost clearly the Congress because there's only 2 or 3 seats. Canadians are not right-wingers a la Trump. You know, the Canadians love our values, they love our mentality.
So Canadians are kind of more and more increasingly becoming right wingers like Trump, as to oppose what he just said. Absolutely, because Canada has gone so far to the left, so overly progressive, and ruined a lot of our economy, a lot of our jobs, our livelihoods. So it's not even that people are switching from being just classic liberals here in Canada to now being more Republicans like Trump. It's the fact that the goalposts have moved. The Liberal Party has gone so far to the left that anybody who hasn't moved with them is now seen as crazy right-wingers, which is an insane thing to say. It's absolutely absurd, but that's just the state of Canada. And that's why you're seeing so many. Right, are we up to a dozen different resignations by Trudeau's Liberals? I mean, not one single resignation has been announced by even the NDP. I hate the NDP, but they're still staying on board. And same thing with the Conservatives. Like, give me a break. Even the Bloc Québécois, they're not resigning. Like, the only people that are jumping ship is because of Justin Trudeau. It's all the Liberals, right? It's kind of funny.
We love the kind of society we have. A much more generous, tolerant society, and we don't have ghettos like they have, and that type of problem they have. We have less poor, and of course less rich than they have, and Canadians are very proud. And I read not long ago there was a poll taken around the globe, and Canada is still the best destination. They were asking the people, if you are to start again your life, where would you like to do that? And the majority were for Canada, way ahead of America.
So aside from him talking about us as a state or annexation, he has made a very specific threat about imposing 25% tariffs, a blanket tariff on all Canadian imports. If you were, you served not only as Prime Minister, but Finance Minister. If you were still in either of those roles, how worried would you be about the prospect of a trade war between these two countries?
We always had that type of problem. When I was Prime Minister, when I was Minister of Finance, when I was Minister of Trade, I was dealing with the Americans in 1968 when I was Minister of Northern Affairs, and I had problem between Yukon and Alaska. So, there is always some problems. We always resolve them easily. And, apparently he said this morning that he does not need our electricity. Fine. If he wants us to cut off the electricity, he will have to walk up the Trump Tower with candles to go to his office, because the state of New York rely a lot on electricity coming from Canada, mainly from Hydro-Québec. So it's not realistic. He loves to be in the news, and the news give him a lot of space. But the reality is the reality. And my view is I'm not losing sleep over that, because they will probably suffer much more than we'll do if we have that type of war.
You think that's true?
Oh, yes.
My understanding is that, even in those visits to Mar-a-Lago, for example, what the people around Trump in his administration have communicated to our federal government is, yes, both sides will hurt in a trade war, but their belief is that Canada's economy will be more impacted. And I think economists have said that as well.
They're not to say the contrary when they want to negotiate. Mm-hmm. But I know that, we're in a better position because what they buy from us, they really need it. We can't go elsewhere than Florida if we want. We can get orange juice and a lot of products.
Oh my God.
But the electricity is not coming by truck or pipeline. And the type of oil they buy from Alberta, if they don't buy it from Alberta, they will have to buy it from Venezuela because it's a special type of oil they buy mostly from us. And they cannot replace it by something else, and it is all our oil in their calculation is part of the security of supply in their security rules. For them, they consider that they will have access to this oil as long as they need it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That guy is extremely, extremely old, and it's just, I feel like the life has been sucked out of that entire interview. The reality is that Justin Trudeau is responsible for getting us to this point right now where Trump feels like he has to make these outlandish claims of buying Canada, buying Greenland, taking back the Panama Canal. It's called anchoring. So he said that he's going to buy Canada or annex Canada as a 51st state. This is a tactic that Trump has used his entire career, not as a politician, but as a businessman. He anchors. He says something that is way up here in absurdity. And then we're going to end up settling for something that's down here, and we're going to feel like we won because we didn't become the 51st state of America, but it's still extremely advantageous for Trump. It's going to be some sort of economic merger. I have no idea what it's going to look like. Nobody does. But we know that we're very unlikely to actually be annexed and become the 51st state. Logistically speaking, that would be absolutely absurd. I mean, we have our own system. We have our own money. We have everything's already set up, and we can actually fix Canada. We just need the proper leadership. But all of this is going to be hashed out over the next several months. And it's actually coming up very soon because Trump is going to be in office here in a couple of what seems like days. He's just days away from basically imposing these 25% tariffs. So it's going to be at a bit of a bumpy road. But again, with an early election, I feel like we can absolutely segue out of that and into something that is going to be beneficial for growing our economy and getting back to some sort of normalcy here in Canada. That's my opinion, folks. I would absolutely love to know yours. That's the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Smash the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in another one. Bye for now.